So our opening song today is I'm Choosing Heaven. So if you want to stand up, choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing beauty today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing life today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Singing, I'm choosing heaven today.
I invite you to remain standing. I ask you to choose to stand today. Thank you for choosing to be here. Thank you very much on this new day, in a new year, under a full new moon, in the sign of Capricorn, which rules leadership, within and without. So I'm going to ask you to join me in reading our new minister's covenant, that word that we together wrote, that word that we decreed for many months, and that word that now is a demonstration here today. So let's do this. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of our new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as love. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised for God. For it is written, let all that you do be done in love. Breathe deep the fragrance of that love, a love that heals the broken heart and will renew the flesh of one who has wakened to the presence. Love is Spirit's alchemy. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as embodying truth, inspiring expansion, and radiating joy. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspiring ever-increasing awareness of oneness with God, which is the expression and experience of love. I am applying the healing power of truth through encouragement, support, and compassion. I am awakening self-realization through embodiment of mystical teachings, diversity, consciousness, and sacred service. I am developing a dynamic, creative, cultural arts program which includes music, dance, and visual expression. I am enhancing family-oriented ministries through activities for all generations with thriving community participation. And I am manifesting greater expression of divine abundance consciousness as I is. Blessed be.
Good morning, Concordia.
Good morning.
This is exciting, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So about a year ago, we wrote that covenant together. We came together in oneness, and we declared ourselves to be love. And we sent out a tractor beam to draw love to us, to reflect to us the love that we are in a new minister. And we know that newness, as we define it, is unlike anything which came before. And so I know that we stand at the gate of something great, something bigger, a next step in our evolution, something wonderful, something unlike that which came before. And love answered us, a resounding yes, a unanimous yes. A tractor beam of love pulled Reverend Allen and Kevin all the way from Colorado here to us. And so it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you our new minister, the embodiment of that love in human form, here to guide us, to radiate joy, to teach us as we embark on this journey together. And so I give to you Reverend Allen.
Thank you. I'm making sure if I mute it on, am I? Testing. Oh, good. It seems like literally a year ago that I've been waiting to come here and be with you, Concordia. Concordia Center for Spiritual Living, you sent out a call. You sent out a call, and to that call, I have said yes. I have said yes to be the minister that will support you in being all that you have coveted it to be. And also, I have said yes to show up in the way that you have called me to be. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for calling me here. And I know that Kevin and I we arrived December 1st here in Rhode Island from Colorado. We know that we are at home. Thank you so much. And so because now I'm at home, Reverend Allen's in the house now, right? In this house of love, in this house of where many hearts are woven together as one. This is my first Sunday. If you're visiting with us for the very first time, you may have guessed this is the first Sunday I'm here too. So I put out a special welcome to everyone here this morning on this special blessed Sunday morning where we're going to today celebrate love and life and light today. Are you ready for that? Yes. Are you ready? Yes, so am I. So for many of you are familiar with how things go on here, but if you are visiting with us for the very first time, welcome. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, know, and I know this, I can guarantee it, you are welcome here. Wherever you are at on your path. After the service, go down into the fellowship hall, join us for some time of fellowship, some genuine hospitality, and also the opportunity to make some new spiritual friends. I did want to say, some of you may have noticed already that the service, if you've been around for a while, the service has already seemed a little different than it normally is. And don't worry, it will change again next week. One of my values in ministry is that everything is an experiment. Everything is an experiment. I loved what Christine had said about newness, about new, about it not having come before. And I love to play in the new and to see what Spirit has for us. And so until we get into our groove together, there will be some little changes here and there, but everything will be all right. It's okay. You can trust that. I did want to acknowledge our practitioners that are here with us this morning. If I could have you stand. So for our guests, you may be new to our community. If you see these women who are walking around with these white stoles, thank you so much, practitioners. They are our prayer practitioners. And as religious scientists, religious science or science of mind is the philosophy that we embrace here as the basis for our common conversation. And our practitioners have spent years dedicating their lives to studying this teaching and applying it to their own lives and doing their own inner work, and are committed now to serve and support us as a community. Our practitioner on duty today is Pamela, who you've already met, and she is, throughout the service, she is going to be supporting us in consciousness, knowing that you and I receive today exactly what God has in store for us. And so I invite you to be resolute here this morning that we have the consciousness to receive that. Are you with me on that? Yes, and so it is. So let's have a wonderful service today. Peace and love.
I invite you to join me in spiritual mind treatment. So if you're comfortable, please close your eyes and go within. In this place of knowing, this place of divine presence. For I know there is one divine source, one love, one light, a presence and power of love and joy that moves through everything and everyone. And I know this presence is present in me right here, right now. It fills the room, it fills the hearts and minds of each one here. And this divine presence, this divine intelligence is guiding each and every one. And each and every one here is bathed in the light of peace, prosperity, and wholeness. Each one in the mind of all that is clear. Each one's heart is open. Each one is blessed with grace and understanding. Each one is experiencing the divine truth of God in and through all things. So I know today we are blessed. We are blessed in the light of truth. We are blessed by a spiritual power that moves, that lives through us, as us. And this life that we live is glorified. It's glorified in God, through God, with God, as God. And as each one knows this, each one stands in freedom and liberation. Each one receives the gem of peace. Each one receives the clarity of knowing they are loved, they are loving, they are the very essence of love itself. So from this place of beauty and joy, from this place of unity, I stand in gratitude. I feel God's presence. I feel it right here, right now. And now I know that we are family, that we are home, that we reside in the arms of the one almighty presence, always and forever. So from this place of gratitude and knowing, I release my word into the law of unconditional love, the law that demonstrates always as truth. This truth being love, this truth being Concordia, this truth being each one here today. I say, blessed be, amen. And together we say, and so it is.
That song has special meaning to me. I mean, I came here with This Is Me. If you were here in September when I came and met you for the first time, it was This Is Me. And then from that day, I was listening to this song. It wasn't just the song that I walked my dog to. It was the song that I would sing, and I would be thinking of you, and I would be thinking of us. And I would be thinking of what Spirit is wanting to express in the world as means of us, by means of this community here in Warwick and Rhode Island and into the world. And so it's going to take 1,000,000 dreams. I've got plenty. I hope you do too. And I know together we are going to make a difference in the world and help make the world a place truly that works for everyone. So, and Pamela, thank you for that beautiful opening treatment. That's what we're about here, isn't it? We're about prayer. Science of Mind is a teaching where we know that if you change your thinking, what happens? You change your life. And I believe that one of the greatest gifts that Ernest Holmes gave to the world, in fact, was this, you call it a technology, call it a process, or a tool, whatever you want to call it, spiritual mind treatment, a way of using our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings in order to create in us a state where we are truly in alignment with the spiritual truth, with the reality of what is going on here, so that we can co-create with life. You know, the theme for this year, before I even get into the theme, I hope that you had a wonderful holiday season. And how many of you had a great New Year? How many? Yes, and Happy New Year to you. But how about New Year's Eve? How many of you had a great New Year's Eve? Yeah? Right? I mean, so we had a wonderful, well, this is my first Sunday. It actually isn't my first service. New Year's Eve, last Monday, we had a burning bowl ceremony. I called it the Journey of the Phoenix. And we had, how many of you were able to make it here on Monday night? Oh, and that's, if you didn't raise your hand, that's okay, because there was enough going on for all of us there. The energy and the presence and the power that was there, it was palpable. Did you feel it? Could you feel it? And it carried me into this new year, and I believe that all that happened there as a community, it will carry us. So if you weren't here, it's okay. We got you covered. It will carry us into the new year. And one of the exciting things in particular that's exciting for me was that we received a special love offering that night for Woodbury Union Church, one of our sister faith communities just down the road here, who tragically lost their church building on Thanksgiving Eve to fire. And so with the offering that evening we received and is earmarked for them, and we collected $704 for that community. And just as I know that Reverend TJ and his congregation is thrilled that there are those that are holding them up in faith and holding them also in a tangible way, while $704 in the big picture for them is just a drop in the bucket. It is really the consciousness and prayer that they know that they are not alone, that they have people of faith standing with them here at Concordia. So thank you for your generosity and what you've done already for them. So the theme for this year, you may have noticed there were some slides that's been going up, and I sent an email out on New Year's Day about the theme for 2019, and it's bringing spiritual living to life. Bringing spiritual living to life. You know, Ernest Holmes has said many times, and we actually, even in the covenant, the minister's covenant, this morning, we read, there is only one life. That life is God's life. And that life is my life when? Now. Do you believe that? I know we do. But there are some times where maybe it doesn't always feel like that is the truth. We know it's the truth, but it doesn't always feel like the truth sometimes. as we go about, as we read our news feed on Facebook, as we maybe watch the news, and just things that go about around us in our life. But it's my intention that throughout this year here at our center, that everything that we do, I know everything that I will be proposing and bringing into place, whether our Sunday celebrations, our classes, our events, and all of the other activities that will unfold here throughout the year, that all of it is in mind about bringing spiritual living to life, bringing into our experience the full embodiment of that one life. It's not just enough to talk about it, is it? It's not enough just to talk about it. Now, what are some ways that if we're truly living that life, what are some of the ways that we might be showing up? We might show up exactly as we're showing up right now. I know many of you that you walk your talk and that you put this into practice. I can't tell you how many texts that I already received this morning from people here in the area, knowing the truth for me, knowing the truth for our center here. People walking their talk. But some of the ways that this might show up as well, just to give you, because I'm not just about talking about theory. You'll learn this about me. If it's not practical, and if there's not a way that I can apply it in my life right now, then it's just theory, and I don't have the room in my head for more theory. I don't have enough. As I'm getting older, it seems there's less space up there, and maybe a little too much clutter. But so I know that if it's truth, then I should be able to apply it and know it and demonstrate it. Otherwise, it's just theory, and save that for a textbook, right? But so some of the ways, if we're truly bringing spiritual living to life, some of the ways that we might show up differently is that we are speaking out for love in all areas of our life, where we are shining our lights brightly, where we're living out loud and breaking free of the fear and doubt, where we're truly being a catalyst for change, and change for good. And not necessarily by just saying, well, this is the way it must be and you're wrong, but actually maybe being the example of that and showing by us taking the first step, and not just in small ways either. By us bringing spiritual living to life, by us making that life our life, it is about letting our light shine in a big way. In a big way. Throughout the month, this month in particular, in January, I'm going to be doing a sort of a message series. So each one of these Sundays is going to be about specifically about going back to the basics of our teaching of science of mind and how it helps us to make that life our life. And it does it in a number of ways. It invites us, it instructs us, it inspires us, and it infuses us so that we can be that life in a big way. Now, you may have noticed, I just mentioned 4 ways that our teachings do this, about helping us. I don't know, can anyone repeat what I just said, the 4? I'll help you. What we're going to talk about this month, today we're going to be talking about how these teachings invite us. How they invite us to listen to the voice that is within, that's calling us to show up. To show up in that big way. How these teachings of science of mind invite us to really make that life our life. Next week, we're going to be talking about how they instruct us. And one of the things, I just was talking about how I love practical spirituality. That's what I love about science of mind. Science of mind is almost like a how-to. It's about a how-to. I remember when I first started taking foundations class with my teacher, Reverend Nikki. This was in Tampa many, many years ago. And I had told her, this was like the second class. I said, I don't get it. You talk about how practical this is. I don't understand. I'm reading the book. I'm reading the textbook. Where? It took me a minute or two to... It's all over the place. Science of mind instructs us so that we can be living that life. It also inspires us. That's what we're going to be talking about in a couple weeks, and how it motivates us to go there. Yeah, we're going to go there. And then finally, how science of mind infuses us. And what does it infuse us with? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, and yes, even hope. I was here in September. I said, don't tell anybody I used the word hope. Oh, they're videoing this. Because in some New Thought circles, hope is almost is a bad word. And I say, you know what? At least start with hope. That's at least a place to start. Hope is the framework upon which the house of faith is built. So science of mind at least it infuses us with that hope that we can have enthusiasm to be all that Spirit has called us to be. So with each one of these ideas, to invite us, instruct us, inspire us, and infuse us, we'll explore how our teachings are going to do, how they do that. And that's what's going to be going on in January. In the New Testament of the Bible, it's written, this is in Revelation, it's written that Jesus said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if anyone hear me, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me." It's not enough to just hear it. It's not enough to just hear the knock at the door. What do you have to do? You have to open the door. And so today, as we're talking about the invitation to make that life our life, it's not just enough to just hear it. It's not enough to just be inspired about it. It's about taking it into action. It's about opening our hearts consciously. It's about opening our minds consciously. And to introduce that further, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote something I want to share, which is sort of it's going to be the basis of today's message. And he wrote this, and it was in the Science of Mind magazine. And here's what he says. "The greatest gift life could have made to you is yourself. You are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in life, in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, the certainty of eternal expansion. The greatest gift life could have made to you is yourself, and you are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in life, engaged in the drama of being." You know, I love this quote. I know that some may say, well, I'm not that spontaneous. I'm not spontaneous. But you know, we're spontaneous at each and every moment as we go about our day. In each and every moment, there is a knock on the door of our hearts and our minds, and it shows up in this way. I'll tell you, you are going about your day and you encounter a situation, and your mind, in just a moment, yes or not yes. More of this? Oh, not so much of that. Oh, I like this. Well, what is she talking about? In every moment, we are giving an invitation as to the direction that life is calling us towards. Today, the invitation is that we move into these concepts by becoming and expanding and being that life. When there is the yes, that we follow that yes. And it may show up as a nudge at times. It may show up in other ways. And I got a little story for you here in just a moment. But the question is, when you are experiencing the invitation, this and not so much of that, when you're, what is your soul, the gift of yourself? What is it longing for today? What is life calling you to be today? There's an invitation that's going on at each and every moment. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. The qualities of God that we are all familiar with, which of those are calling to you to express in a larger way here in 2019? Here during the reading of the covenant, it was said that there was these declarations, I am, I am, I am. There is I am the embodiment of love. I am these things. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Are we bringing these into the world? What is calling you to show up in a bigger and grander way in 2019? And not even just individually, but also as a spiritual community. There's already 1 million dreams. Are we RSVPing to those with a yes? In the Basic Ideas of Science of Mind on page 73, Ernest Holmes writes this. He says, there is something within us all which constantly pushes us forward, which demands continued progress. Inertia may hinder our paying much attention to this inner urge, but it's always there. This divine discontent is a factor in our very makeup, and unless we are following its promptings, we are not happy. I'm going to read that sentence again. This divine discontent, this is that feeling of like, oh, not so much of that. It is a factor in our very makeup, and unless we're following its promptings, we are not happy. We cannot get away from it because it's part of our nature, and our unfoldment, us making that life our life, is something for which we are specifically responsible. We have to open the door. Many people think that they're not happy because their stuff hasn't shown up yet, and that is not the reason. We have everything that we need within us right now. All peace, all power, all joy, everything we need is within us right now. But we have been trained, we've been conditioned to look out there for our good. Rumi said it in maybe a more poetic way, a little different than what Holmes said. He said it this way. Feel yourself being quietly drawn by the deeper pull of what you truly love. Feel yourself being quietly drawn by the deeper pull of what you truly love. The invitation is to listen to that pull of what we would love to be and to do and to have. That is life's call to us. And it's inviting us to RSVP yes to it. Are we doing that? Now, sometimes the invitation can come as a pull. Sometimes as maybe a slight little nudge. And if we ignore that, I know there's a lot of Abraham fans in here. Don't worry, it'll get louder. Don't worry, it will get louder. Sometimes as we ignore the calling of our heart and we put it off and we put it off, eventually sometimes it can feel like a good swift kick in the behind. There's a phrase that like it can feel like you've been hit over the head with a cosmic 2x4. Dr. Judy Morley says that quite a bit. I'll tell you, I was talking to Kevin this morning about this, and as far as the way that we got here was listening to those nudges and to say yes to them. And as you get to know me, you'll hear more of the story of how I got here, how you guys called me here. It was a tractor beam, Christine. That's exactly what it felt like. There were times where it felt like I couldn't say no. But if we do say no to our yeses, that's what Ernest Holmes was speaking about. That is the cause of our unhappiness. Today's the day to say yes to our yeses. There's a story about Father Leo Booth. Father Leo was a former Anglican priest who became a unity minister. And there's a story that he tells about how he was heading to Bali for a spiritual conference with Michael Beckwith and Gerald Jampolsky. I hope I'm saying his name right, Jampolsky. That's how I say it, so. So they were going on this conference. And so he got to the airport in England, And it was at the airport there that the agent, the airline's agent, looked at Father Leo's passport and said, "Ugh, your passport only is valid for only 4 more months. Now, I can let you leave, but I need to let you know, for you to come back, you need to have at least 6 months on your passport." So here's what I'm going to suggest that you do. When you stop over in Singapore, on the way to Bali, stop there, go to the British Embassy, and tell them that you need to renew your passport. Now, it'll take several days, but they'll go ahead and get you set back up, and so that you can come back this way. Now, Father Leo, he went over, and that was the best that they could offer him. That's just the way it goes. It's the bureaucratic, we got our tag. I got my driver's license this week. I am official. I am a Rhode Islander. I know there's a lot more. I'm maybe not official yet in some eyes. But I got my driver's license and my tag, and there are a lot of things you got to do. I mean, this is probably the first place I've been to where you have to print out the checklists in order to get everything done. But this is what they told Father Leo. You're going to have to go. It's going to take several days. And he's like, I haven't got several days. I have to make it to the conference. So he's sitting there at the gate, waiting to get on his plane, and he's sort of muttering and fuming to himself. And it's like, well, how am I going to make this work? And he noticed this woman gets up, and she headed off to the bathroom. And he's just like, how am I going to make this work? I got to make it to the conference, but I also want to come back home. Now, the woman who walked off, she comes back, and he noticed that her dress actually had been tucked into her underwear. And he refers to this as a spiritual moment. What do I do? What do I do? And we have those moments as well. Maybe not as light as that, but we have spiritual moments in our life. What do I do? And he even toyed with the idea, and when I read this, I was that to maybe just sort of casually, just sort of, to sort of tug and maybe help her dress out, and not a good idea at any place or any time. So he said this, and I'm going to quote this. He said, "Excuse me, your dress is stuck in your underwear." "Oh dear," she says, "I hate when I do that. I hate that. I hate when that happens." "Well, I thought it was better for me to tell it to you," he muttered to her. And she says, "Well, thank you very much. Do I detect a British accent?" "Well, yes, I am from here." "Oh, well, I am too. You're headed to Singapore?" "Well, actually, I'm going to Bali. But I will be stopping in Singapore." "Well, I live there in Singapore now." "Well, what do you do?" Are you ready to hear this? She said, "I work for the British Embassy in the passport division." And within a day, he had his passport renewed, and he was on his way to the conference. So sometimes life can give us a nudge to move in a certain direction. Sometimes we can maybe feel a draft or something's not quite right. Something's not quite right. But the invitation is for us to listen to that. Listen to those times of when life is saying, "Excuse me. Excuse me, look this way. Excuse me, go this direction. Excuse me. Excuse me, I want you to be a greater expression of love in this situation. Excuse me, you're called to be peace here and now. Excuse me, but there is a dream of something that you have been longing for, that is aching in your heart. Excuse me, but get out of your own way and let that life out. Live your life. Life is calling us at each and every moment. And this year, the invitation is for us to hear that invitation and to act on it and to make 2019 our year. It's your year. It's my year. It's our year here at Concordia to listen to those nudges and to act on it, to make that life and all that it contains, to make that life our life, to make it a reality. Michelangelo said that the greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that our aim is too low and we reach it. So this thing called life, it's calling to us. It's calling to us to speak out in love. It's calling out to us to shine our lights brightly. It's calling out to us to be the change in the world that we seek. It's calling to us to say yes to our good and yes to the good of those in our life. Let us say yes to it. Yes. Yes. Let's make that life our lives. Let's bring spiritual living to life here in 2019. Peace and love. Namaste. And so now it's my privilege to invite and to share with you my partner, Kevin Montgomery, who we just celebrated 14 years together in December. And I just have to say that if it was not for this man, I would not be where I am right now in my life. And so I share with you and bring him up here to share him with you and let you get to hear from him personally.
Good. So good to be here this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. Excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. See, I am a child of God and I'm due to have everything I want. Yeah, excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. Excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. See, I am a child of God and I deserve to have everything I want, yeah. You ain't got nothing on me. You ain't got nothing on me. You ain't got nothing on me, because I claim prosperity. I claim prosperity. I choose abundance. I am feeling wealthy, yeah. Excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. Excuse me, but I interrupt this broadcast with a message from my soul. See, I am a child of God and I deserve to have everything I want, yeah. Excuse me.
So I invite our ushers to come forward as we prepare to share together our abundance affirmation.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. When you lead me, I will follow. When you lead me, I will go. Now how can I share today, sweet Spirit? How can I share today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. And where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Oh, that's a wonderful song. You know, I mean, because doesn't it all speak to what we were talking about today? Did you see that? Did you hear that? I was sitting there going, oh, I don't think I heard that before. It takes a minute or two sometimes. It really does. So anyway, so I have some news you can use, some things to know before you go. As we are bringing the service here to a close, you know, I wanted to find a way. I was trying to, how many of you get the weekly newsletter? How many of you open it and read it? You know, okay, that's a different, you don't have to do, I know we can see, we know who's clicking. There are reports about that. But anyway, I learned early on, don't look at those reports. Your feelings will get hurt. So just send it out. And so the newsletter is now, you may have noticed, there wasn't one this past Friday. Wednesday is going to be the day that you will get some news. And it'll be starting out light. And if you aren't getting the newsletter, please stop down at the information desk and make sure that we have the correct email address for you. Because there's going to be some changes a-coming. Did you hear this? Change a-coming. And I wanted to find a way to be able to communicate that and to share it. And so I'm trying to find as many vehicles as possible and also create as many opportunities for you to be able to connect with me and get to know me. So coming up, at the end of this month, on the fourth Saturday, until the foreseeable future, fourth Saturday of the month will be Coffee and Conversations with Reverend Allen. That will be in the fellowship hall. This is Saturday mornings from 10 till 11:30 a.m. And this will be an opportunity on the fourth Saturday for you to come, hang out. We'll have a little spiritual practice, but also you can ask questions, you can get to know me, and I can share with you some of the things that might be upcoming. Or I've decided to wait till the end of the first month because this sort of see what's going on. And it's like, okay, this is just so that I can. Early on, I told Tracy, we were having a conversation, and I said, it feels like there's a merry-go-round. You guys are at the merry-go-round already on the at the park playing, and the merry-go-round is already going, and I am running. And so it's going to take a little time till we get in the groove, so we can make sure that we're all in the same, in sync with one another. So this will be an opportunity for us to get to hang out on a Saturday morning. And there'll be other things that intersperse, but this is specifically coffee and conversation. So Tuesday, that's this coming Tuesday, the 8th, Essential Earnest Homes. How many of you are signed up for Essential Earnest Homes? Oh, so we're talking about bringing spiritual living to life. And starting this coming Tuesday, I'd say give yourself the gift of joining together with us on Tuesday evening, 6:30. It's 6:30 to 9, right? Mary's nodding at me. 6:30 to 9. And this is a 10-week class where we will be exploring the writings of Ernest Holmes. And while I know the name of the class is Essential Ernest Holmes, I prefer really to call it Essential You. Because what we're going to be doing through this class is, yes, looking at the writings of Holmes and how he expressed these teachings in the Declaration of Principles, but it is really about you discovering what are your principles and what is your truth for yourself. Because remember, if you're just accepting someone else's word for it, then it's just theory. But we're going to be in together, and now the investment of the class is, what did it? 165. Is it 165? 165, which is, it's a bargain, yes. It's a bargain. And I will tell you, there is no prerequisite for this class. So, and if you've taken it before, well, you haven't taken it with me. And it's a different class. And also, if you are interested in what Science of Mind is about, this would be a great class. If you're interested in making new friends, this is a great class. And if you're concerned as to whether you can make payments on this class. And I have no doubt in my mind, I know this in absolute knowingness, that you will demonstrate the balance throughout the next 10 weeks. No doubt. We will work it out. Do not let the price stop you or money stop you. If you have a desire, say yes to it, and at the information table, go sign up for the class. It starts this Tuesday, and I'd love for us to be able to connect. It's a way to support you and making that life your life. After the service today at 11:30, I didn't, see, I thought I had notes. I thought I had the right notes on this. You may have noticed that there's been some activity on our Facebook page at Concordia CSL, facebook.com/Concordia CSL. We are going to be really utilizing social media as an avenue by which to let the outside community know about who we are and what we do. And so we currently do not have a Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and all that stuff. It's coming. But I know that many of you, there are many of us in Concordia that are really active on Facebook. I can barely post something, and there's just likes going off, and it's like they are just sitting there, just waiting to click like. It's sort of like they're waiting. And so, for those who are familiar with that platform, come to me, reach out to me, because we're looking to develop. This is under Manifestation Ministries, I believe, but with our digital media and that aspect, we're looking for some editors. We're looking for people who find, this would just be great. Or you find quotes and you find things, and then you believe that it should be broadcast on our page and through our media. Come and see me, because we're forming a little team of editors, with your pencil, and so this good things to come. Now I believe the next slide should be, yes, this is the one. So our teens are are offering us today a Science of Mind workshop in fellowship. This will be starting at 11:30, and it is a love offering basis to come and to hear. We are blessed to have the number of teens that we do, who are in this teaching and also here as part of this community. I have been to many centers around the country, and to have of this size with this percentage of youth or teens present is not the norm. And so we need to celebrate it and support them and whatever we can, and I know that we do. But they are going to be gifting us with this workshop today, and if you are available, come and support them, 11:30. And the proceeds from this is helping them with winter camp, helping them to continue to connect with other youths throughout CSL. And finally, after the service, I mentioned the practitioners before, but if there is a nudge, if life is nudging you, and maybe you've been saying no to yeses, and you can't find a way out of it, and maybe you're feeling stuck or whatever, there's something maybe going on in your life right now where you need prayer support. Practitioners are available for prayer after the service, and if you don't know where that's at, someone will point you in the right direction, but there is a place. Go and make. Whenever I wasn't on platform for the Sunday, I would grab a practitioner after the service. I was just a staff minister at New Dawn Center for Spiritual Living in Aurora, and I would grab a practitioner after the service. And guess what? I'm a practitioner, but any chance I can in order to be supported in consciousness, and we are gifted that. So avail yourselves of that today. So have you been blessed today? Yes, me too. So let's go ahead. We have a lot of people here, maybe a little bit more than normal. So what we are going, as we bring the service to a close today, we're going to sing, Kevin's going to lead us in a slightly different song today. But instead of us trying to fit in a circle, we're just going to reach across the aisles and hold hands to that as we close our service today.
This is a great affirmation. We are a stand for peace, love, and joy. Hear the words, and it's a great chant we're going to do this morning, so I invite you to stand. And as the word of the song suggests, and we are knowing peace, love, and joy here in 2019. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace, let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace, let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace, let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
Yes. And as we close our service here, I know that love that is here, that one heart, that one mind, that one presence, that one yes, that it is carrying each one of us throughout our day, throughout our life, into the world, to be a greater expression and embodiment of that life in the world. And we say yes to it today, and we allow it to be, and so it is. It is.